Hi, this is Nurse Barnisha. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'm so excited. I wanted to go over the steps that it took for me to get to clinicals. I felt like this video was needed. I kind of skipped over this. It's kind of out of sequence. Hopefully you had a chance to visit my other videos, but let's get to it. I am a student with Chamberlain University, and anything that I say on this video are my experiences, my opinions, my ideas, and my thoughts. I just happen to be a student with Chamberlain University, so I got that out of the way. So they do offer a search engine, and you put in your zip code and the miles that you're willing to travel, and then it's supposed to populate preceptors in your area. I was not successful with this search engine. There weren't any. There were actually two, and they didn't call back or email me back or anything. So I was not very successful with this search engine. I'll talk about that more later. But the good part is Chamberlain does provide you some guidance on how to search. And there's a module. They provided us a module that was required to finish before we even got to this point. In this module, it teaches you how to search and how to be prepared for your clinical rotation. It goes over the basic information. You should have an updated printed resume. Your program information should be available, ready to give to that potential preceptor. So that's just basic information, basic knowledge. It prompted me to go to Staples and purchase some of these folders with the clear sheet, and I printed out an updated resume, program information. I printed that out, and a cover sheet with my profile pic and my contact information, and I placed it in these, and I used frickin' frack my 2 feet and walked into places and asked to speak to the hiring manager or the educational resource person. My intent was to hand this to them. I didn't always get to speak to them, so before I left, I asked for a name, a phone number, and or email so that I could reach out to them later. And at that time, I was able to send them an electronic version of what I was trying to hand deliver them. And when you make your cold calls, Chamberlain also gives you a script, and I had to tweak it so that it would sound comfortable coming out of my mouth, and so it sounded natural. And the purpose of the script is so that when you make these cold calls, that you sound professional, and that you don't sound willy-nilly and you're just making it up as you go, because it will come across that you're just making it up as you go. So you want to sound professional. You want to get in and out of that call with the information that you need before you hang up. Again, get a name, a phone number, and an email so that you can send them the electronic information. As far as the search engine, I'll go back to that. It wasn't useful for me, but there are many search and find companies that you can find on Google that will help you with finding a preceptor and a site. And on average, from the companies that I called, the average is about $2,000 per clinical. Hopefully you find a preceptor without having to pay for it. But speaking to my fellow classmates, a few of them, and students that I have run into out in the field, they all had to pay for their preceptor and the site, which come together, the preceptor and the site. So you only have to pay the $2,000 once. It's not like you have to pay $2,000 for the preceptor and $2,000 for the site. It's $2,000 for the package. Our thought of why this is the case now, because it wasn't always this way. The MPs, the MDs, and the PAs, they know that they can get paid for the service. So why would they put their name and contact information in a site, a search engine, where they don't get paid when they can put their contact information in a search engine where they will get paid? So that just makes sense. And I'm not mad at them. It's expensive for me, but when I finish, I will probably honestly do the same thing. It is what it is. It's an investment towards my education and my advancement. So it's going to be worth it in the long run. And I feel like if you look at it that way, maybe change your thoughts on spending that $2,000. The search and find companies will work with your school to get your application and packet together. So my school has a dedicated team, and that team will work with that company, whoever you choose. If you choose one, it may just be yourself, to get that packet and application submitted to the site. And it's tedious work. I'm glad I don't have to do it. I'm glad there's a dedicated team that takes care of that for me, because I just don't have the time. All I had to provide them was names, numbers, emails, and the address of the site, and they took care of everything else. And if anything was missing, they would email me and tell me. They also have a separate system where you upload all of your vaccinations, immunizations, titers, all of that, your BLS, your ACLS, your PPD. There's a separate system that you upload it there, and it houses it there. But depending on your site, my next 2 rotations, they required me to upload similar information into their site. So you may have to do it more than once. So I just have a folder on my laptop that is labeled for this purpose, and I just quickly upload it to where it needs to go. You don't want to delay when they ask you for the information. Send it as soon as you can, because it can delay you getting into these sites. Make sure that nothing is about to expire. I had a PPD that was expiring a month later, and they told me I was non-compliant, so I had to rush and get another PPD. I should have caught it earlier, but I didn't. So if you see that something is about to expire, go ahead and renew it. Hopefully this information was useful to you, and please like, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.